Hello students, standard 6th. In chemistry, revision of chapter number 4, sorting materials into groups. In last session, we learned that why sorting is necessary. What is the reason that we have to sort out the materials into groups? The reason is that if all the materials or all the objects that we need, if they are mixed with each other, and when we need a particular object, then it is very difficult to find that object, particularly when that object is smaller. And then we are struggling. Similarly, in the shop also, if we go to buy something, then for not wasting time, you will specially go in that corner only in which we need something. For example, if you want to buy soaps, then when you go to the shop, you will look for the space where all the soaps are kept. But if in the soap also everything is together, then how will you find out a soap or any other materials? So it is very, very necessary that the objects should be sorted out according to their different categories. Last we understand that materials can have different type of characteristics or the properties, and according to their properties we can sort it out. For example, maybe we can sort out materials which are made up of the same material, like from the wood, from plastic, from paper, from clothes, etc. Then metals also. And we use special material for special type. As we saw that we cannot use cloth tumbler to store the water or any liquid. Then we use either metal or plastic. So according to our use, according to our need, we use different type of materials. Some materials are soft, some are rough. Then we also saw that some of the materials are hard, which are not easy to scratch. They are not compressible. While on the other hand, the other materials are soft, which can be scratched easily, and they are little compressible also. Now we are going to check about the other properties of the different materials, on which basis we can classify them. That is soluble or insoluble. Soluble or insoluble means, what is that? Suppose we take some sugar and throw it in the water. Take different container and in water put some salt. In other beaker, in water put some piece of chalks. stones and different materials and stir them for a while. Then you will see that you will notice that some of the materials will disappear after stirring. And some of the material will not disappear after even stirring for a long time. They will not disappear. If you take water in the glass and put the sugar and stir it, then within few seconds the sugar will disappear. It means that it dissolved in the water. Similarly, salt. If you put the salt in the water and stir it, within a few seconds, salt will disappear. It means that it dissolves in the water. So, they are known as soluble. So, substance which completely disappear or dissolve in water are called soluble in water. As I told you, sugar, salt, then some chemicals like copper sulfate crystals, potassium permanganate crystals, etc. When you throw them in the water and stir it with a glass rod or something with a spoon, then within the few seconds you will not be able to see any crystals of sugar or salt or copper sulfate in water. So they are known as soluble in water. But on the other hand, when you throw some small stones or the sand, stir it for a long time, piece of chalk, piece of iron, or some small iron nails, or any other metallic items, then you will stir for a long time, for 5 minutes, for 10 minutes, still they will not disappear. Why? Because they can't dissolve in water. It means that those substances are known as insoluble substances in water. So, on the basis of solubility, we can classify, sort it out, the materials into different groups like soluble in water and insoluble in water. Especially the water is very, very important in all living organisms' body, because most of the substances that need to transport in our body, they need to be dissolved in the water so that it can be transported easily. And generally, water can dissolve so many substances, and therefore water is very, very important in our body. And due to the lack of water, we can get dehydration also. So the water is very, very important. Now we saw that some solids like sugar, salt dissolve in water. But not only the solid substances, but some liquids also can dissolve in water. If you mix vinegar and water, you won't be able to separate them easily because they will mix in each other. Similarly, if you squeeze a lemon and take it out the lemon juice and throw it in the water and stir it, then you will see that that lemon juice will not be able to see separately. It will disappear. It means that liquids also can dissolve in water. Some liquids cannot dissolve in water. For example, if you put oil, any oil like sunflower oil or the groundnut oil or coconut oil in the water, and you dissolve it, stir it, then after stop stirring, you will see that slowly they will make layers. You will see different layers of water and the oil, water and kerosene, etc. It means that some liquids are also soluble in water, some are not soluble, means insoluble in water. Similarly, some gases are also soluble in water. Do you know about it? Like when you drink any aerated drink like soda water or other cold drinks, when you open that cap, you will be able to hear a sound and the liquid is coming out with bubbles. What is that? That is the carbon dioxide gas which is dissolved in water. And when we open the cap, the dissolved carbon dioxide again coming out, and therefore we see that bubbles. And you know that due to the solubility of gases in the water, the aquatic animals and aquatic plants get the oxygen and carbon dioxide. Because the aquatic animals can take the oxygen which is dissolved in the water. They cannot take directly because they don't have lungs. They respire through their gills, etc. And that can take only the gas which is dissolved in water. Similarly, aquatic plants need carbon dioxide for photosynthesis. So if carbon dioxide was not dissolving, then they will not be able to get that carbon dioxide. So solubility is also very, very important for us. Now the other category, other property, that object may float or sink in the water. Sometimes you go to the river or any other places like a sea or the lake, etc. Then you will see that some of the objects are floating, like dry leaves are there, some plastic materials are there, flowers. Those materials, you will see that they will float on the water, on the surface of the water they are floating. If you put a feather of the bird, it will float on the water. And some of the materials that you will see that it will sink in the water and it will settle down at the bottom. You can do it yourself also. Take a container and take the water in it and put different objects like a feather, leaves, stones, rubber, etc. And then check how they are behaving in the water. You will see that the rubber, leaves, the feather, etc., they will float on the water, on the surface of the water, while the stones or the iron nails and the other heavy materials will sink and settle at the bottom of the container. So that is also one of the property by which we can classify, sort it out them in the groups like float on the water or sink on the water also. Then the other property is transparency. Transparency means there are three types of objects on the basis of passing light through them. The objects through which we can see exactly, because they allow the light to pass through them completely. So the objects through which light can pass completely, then they are known as transparent objects. For example, the air around us, clean water, and glass, etc. We can see through clearly because they allow the light to pass through them completely. The other objects through which we can see but not clearly. We cannot see clearly because through them the light passes through partially, not completely, not all the light, but few light can pass through it, and therefore they are known as translucent objects. For example, if you take a notebook paper and put few drops of oil on it, any oil, and then if you will see that it will be translucent, means we can see through it but not clearly. Similarly, the butter paper that we use in the kitchen and in the drawing that you use, that tracing paper, that you will see that you can hold it and try to see through them. You will see that we can see it through them but not clearly. So those materials are known as translucent objects. And the other ones through which we cannot completely see. We cannot see anything through them because they do not allow light to pass through them. No light can pass through them, so we cannot see through them. For example, this book, wooden plank, our walls, brick, stones, metals, plastics, etc. These materials are such that they do not allow them light to pass through them. So they are known as opaque objects. So by this method we can classify, sort out the materials into different groups also. You know that our palm is also translucent. If you want to do it in a dark room, take a torch, switch it on and put your palm on it. Then you will be able to see that red color in it. It means that little light can pass through it. So this is the things or the appearances or the properties of the objects by which we can sort out the materials. And as I told you that for our convenience it is necessary to group the materials in our everyday life so that similar objects can place together. In the shop also, the bathing shop, cleaning shop, etc. are kept differently. groceries are kept, spices, chocolates, all things are sorted out, biscuits, so that one can find them easily. And as I told you, in our home also, in the kitchen also, we put the plates together, other like cup and saucers, glasses. We don't put one glass there and one glass is there and one glass is there. Similarly, in our cupboards also, the different clothes are sorted out. Different parts will be taken for the different person's clothes so that they can easily find them. Otherwise, all clothes are together. Then, for a shirt or a t-shirt, you will take a lot of time. So, sorting out is very, very important. Grouping is very, very important, which makes our life convenient. Similarly, it is useful to understand the properties of the materials also, about which we will learn in the higher standards also. So here we are going to finish today's session and revision of this chapter also. Will be followed by the PDF file, and any problem write down in the comment section. Thank you very much.